All right, back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing yet another beer from the Frequentem Brewing Company, and they're out of Canandaigua, New York, and this is their German Altbier. So this is a German Altbier that comes in at 5.5% alcohol by volume. No IBUs listed in time of review. This can is approximately 1 month old, and I'm going to give a huge thanks and shout out once again to a couple good friends of mine and fellow beer tubers, Dan and Mike over at FLX Beer Reviews. I will post a link in the description box to their channel. Highly recommend checking it out. Great guys and very generous individuals. Mike specifically gave me this beer along with 3 others from Frequentem, and yeah, I've been enjoying them so far. This is the 3rd one I'm reviewing, and it's a German Altbier. And basically what a German Altbier is like a German-style brown ale. It's supposed to have a good balance between the malts and the hops. I haven't had a lot of alt beers in my life, probably less than a half dozen, but that's because a lot of US breweries don't really brew German alt beers, and if they do, they're typically just like on tap at the brewery. You don't see a lot of distributed alt beers, packaged in bottles and cans, so really cool that Frequentem did this, and yeah, I'm pretty excited to get into this one, so we're gonna crack it open, get in glass, see what we got going on. So a German alt beer, huh? It's cool to see like a German alt beer from like a small, relatively new brewery, so I like that. So yeah. Now, when it pours out, like I said, it's going to kind of look like a brown ale to some degree, or at least it should anyway. We'll go like that so I can get my schnaz in there. Put this over here, and yeah, so yeah, that honestly looks like a brown ale to me. It really does. It has this nice like brown, deeper brown color in the middle on the outside, like a light caramel. Has about a finger of a khaki looking, very creamy, compact type of head. But that looks like a beautiful beer. Let's get a nose on it. Yeah, so honestly, kind of just smells like a brown ale. There's a lot of sweet malt up front, like you're getting caramel, like a nice like brown red type of aroma. A little bit of toffee, like sweeter malt vibes right at the forefront. But on the back end, there's this nice floral, almost spicy hop component to kind of balance out the nose. It smells lager-esque. I believe with alt beers, there's a bunch of different variations within the style, but they are top fermented with basically ale yeast, and then they're like cold conditioned like a lager. At least some of them. I don't know if that's the case for this one, but this kind of has like just a clean smell to it, like a lager would. Yeah, that malt, as I go back, it has a really deep and rich malt component to it, but again, that spicy, floral, almost slightly earthy kind of hop note really plays well with it, at least in the nose. Yeah, it smells good. It doesn't smell like it's an amazing beer or anything, but this smells like you throw it on tap at the brewery, somebody hasn't had a German alt beer, and they're kind of intrigued by it, and they drink it, and they're like, oh, man, it smells like it's pretty well balanced. Let's see how the taste is. So cheers, everybody, and thanks again to Mike. Pretty much follows the nose to a T, maybe leaning a little bit more to the hoppy side of things in the taste. Body on this one, 5.5%, lower side of medium, approaching medium, a little bit heft behind it, but not too heavy for the style. The mouthfeel, it has a decent amount of carbonation on it, but at the same time, it has a really soft, smooth component to it. Yeah, it's like crisp, it's clean, it's smooth, it's really nice. Taste, like I said, it probably carries and translates from the nose to about 90%. Right at the forefront, that sweet brown bread, caramel, light toffee kind of note passes through the palate. Pretty much about halfway through, maybe to the 3/4 mark, I'm hit with this nice spicy and floral and slight earthy type of hop note, leaning towards the spicy side of things. It has a moderate bitterness on the back of the tongue, semi to almost full-on dry finish. So this is balanced, but I'd say for this beer specifically, it leans a little bit more to like the bittering and dry aspect. It makes it infinitely more drinkable because I keep on wanting to go back to get rid of the dryness and the bitterness. Not overly complex for 5.5%. That's kind of what you want on this. Very simplistic to some degree, but also very drinkable. It's a well-made German alt beer. Now here's the thing. I haven't had a lot in my lifetime. Like I said, a lot of US breweries. I think I've had a couple like authentic German ones, and that was many years ago. I'm talking like a good 9-10 years ago. But as far as I know for the style, I think this is stylistically really good. Probably in like the 4.25, maybe almost approaching 4.5. I mean, it has a balance. I think it's a little bit leaning more towards the bitter side of things, but I do know that these can be somewhat unbalanced, but a little bit more of that bittering aspect than I thought. Like I said, the nose translated about 90%, that 10%, a little bit more leaning bitter in the taste. But it's not my favorite style. That's where I was going with this. This is just not my favorite style. Probably never will be. I really don't. I don't say I don't. I don't dislike brown ales in general, whether it's an American one or a Belgian one or a German one. It doesn't matter to me. Brown ales for me just aren't a style that I really seek out or I'm really all too keen on. I've had some really great brown ales, but for me, it's just not a style I love. So I have to be honest in my rating here. And even though I'm enjoying this one and I think it's well made, the best I can do on it is a high 3.75 out of 5. I'd go 3.85. I think it's really well made. I think it's put together. Have no problem finishing the rest of that. It's a well put together, well balanced, albeit leaning a little bit more towards the bitter side of things, alt beer, and it's pretty good. And from a relatively new brewery that just opened their doors within the past year to like 16 months, really, really good. There's no off flavors, nothing bad at all about it. Just if you're not a huge fan of the style, you're probably not going to like this. And like I said, I'm not a huge fan of the style, and I don't dislike it. I think I enjoy it. I just probably not one I would personally seek out just because, you know, it's just not my favorite style. So anyway, price and availability. Here's where it goes a little bit wonky for me. I mentioned this in their cream ale review. I believe these are $14 a 4-pack. Again, I'd like to see these 10 to 12 bucks. Shouldn't be more than that. I mean, I know a lot goes into with lagers and things that you cold condition. You got to, you know, spend more time on them. But at the end of the day, a lot of places will produce beers like this, 12 bucks and under for a 4-pack. So I'd like to see this 10 to 12 bucks, but 14 isn't a terrible price if this is something you enjoy. And availability for Frequentem is brewery only. They do small can releases and whatnot. And yeah, not much more to say about it. Like I said, 5.5%, that's how it drinks. Really can't detect the alcohol. It's a low ABV, easy drinking alt beer. Not much more to say about. So thanks to Mike once again for hooking me up with this one. Thanks to everybody stopping by for another beer review here in the Beer Patrol. I have one more from Frequentem that I have to review. I don't know what order you're going to see these reviews in, but hopefully I post them in the order that I review them in, and if not, whatever. That's the Beer Patrol. We don't know what we're doing here. Anyway, to the next one. Cheers.